Jerry Jones lost his damn mind.
No. Morning. What's up, Sam Salinas? I'm trying to finish my breakfast here.
Hey, glasses on or off?
Well, I could leave them on or off. It's up to you. I'm making an oversized chain for Rick and
Nice.
Brandon and Elias and us to wear when we go to Spurs games. I'm almost done. It's 3D printing right now. We got the other half of it printed in back of it. Sam Salinas, good morning. Chris Gonzalez, how about them Cowboys Super Bowl? Nope. Mike lost his damn mind. What's with the undershirt? Love it.
I think the glasses are a new thing, Joe.
Alex Noriega, good morning, boys. You're going to try to be Fernandez now. Jesse A, condolences on the L. So in Florida Lights, I lost my mind yesterday with Joe freaking Dak, man. No, mames con Dak, bro. Dak, it's not just Dak's fault. It's that whole team that booty crumbs, man.
Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
What's up, San Antonio? What's going on, South Texas? This is the Alamo City. Whoa.
Damn.
What happened there? It's the Whataburger right there coming back at me. This is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from the west side of San Antonio. My name is Mike Jimenez. That is Joe Garcia. We're enjoying breakfast here, and we're going to be celebrating sports, pop culture, and nostalgia as we always do. It is Tuesday in the Alamo City. It's going to be a fantastic day, fantastic show, because Jerry Jones lost his freaking mind, and that is getting me going today, Joe. Dude, okay, as somebody who is not a Cowboys fan, and I know my team lost, okay? My team had a rookie quarterback playing his first game ever.
You're only as good as your record. That's what you said.
That is true, right? But there's no expectations for my team, but there were expectations for the Dallas Cowboys because Jerry Jones said before the season started, we are all in, right?
Comma, my ass.
My ass, right? The Detroit Lions go out there and beat the Cowboys 47-9. RJ Ochoa brought up the stat from Blogging the Boys that the Cowboys have given up 119 points in their first 3 home games. Cowboys are 3-3, 3-0 on the road, 0-3 at home. They're one of a few teams that has ever given up 119 points in 3 games to start a season at home. Every single one of those teams that has done that has missed the playoffs, has had a losing record. So we're looking at the Cowboys right now at 3-3. You got to ask ourselves the question, is this team even going to make the playoffs? Washington Commanders lost this past weekend, but they played really well against the Ravens.
Yeah, remember we went on record, I believe, before the season started, and I told Cowboy fan, this team might not make the playoffs.
Right. I said 7-10 to start the season.
Yeah.
That was my prediction. By the way, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can be part of the show by going on to our YouTube page, liking, subscribing. That helps us out a lot. On top of that, that allows you to be part of the show by leaving a comment or two. People are saying that I'm doing my Spur Mendez impersonation, is what Jesse A is saying, because I'm wearing my glasses. But you know what? I forgot to take them off. It just feels good.
This is what happens when you order Spernandez on Wish.
I'm the Etsy Spernandez right
you're
now.
Like the Temu.
The
Temu or the Wish version.
The Sheen.
Yeah.
But the Cowboys losing 47-9. And then you had to understand that Jerry Jones is going to take this personally. Jerry Jones today on 105.3 The Fan, which is a radio station up there in Dallas, lost his freaking mind.
Usually he's really happy, right, when he comes on. They're asking him nice questions, you know?
They went after him. Remember Rob Thompson on San Antonio Sportscast went after Mike McCarthy a few weeks ago, right?
What did he say? He didn't know what stat was?
He didn't know what the player rankings, the PFF rankings. He didn't know what that was. Jerry Jones goes out there And it's a rather cordial interview to start off, and then the questions came up. Jerry Jones was trying to like railroad the entire interview by just not letting the host talk, right? But Jerry Jones was just talking nonsense. 14 minutes into the interview, the reporters started asking him very pointed questions. The sports talk host started answering pointed questions like, hey, man, we know that the rush defense sucks. We know the running game sucks. Why didn't we do anything about this? Why didn't you, as the general manager, go do something about this? Jerry got defensive, started threatening the jobs of the talk show hosts that are there, undermining the credibility of that particular organization.
You know what? I would have pushed back and I said, you know what? You had no problem coming up here on this show prior to the Cowboys losing. Now that they're losing and we're asking you questions as you being the GM and the coach, now you have reservations.
Right.
If anybody's job is at stake, it should be your own, because I would tell him, you are a great owner. You're a shitty GM.
Yes. And he's 82 years old, turned 82 this past weekend. And Jerry Jones going out there and just threatening people's jobs.
Yeah.
What a fucking narcissist this motherfucker is, dude. I'm sorry. I'll pay the dollar for that. But that is a jackassery move of jackassery moves. And I hate cussing on this show. I hate cussing on this show. And I apologize for that. But are you effing kidding me?
That's Jerry.
Are you kidding me? You're threatening people's jobs because you are being questioned about your own job when everybody in the world knows that you're sucking at your job.
Hey, but when you're a GM, don't you have to answer those tough questions?
You do. But he's the GM and the owner.
Part of the job. He asked for this.
Now, one of the things that he did say, by the way, they asked him the question, are you going to fire Mike McCarthy mid-season? He goes, nope. No. He goes, nope. Mike McCarthy's our guy for the rest of the year. He goes, we did that back in 2010. I'm not going to do it again. And the last time the Cowboys did it, the Cowboys were 1-7, right? Mike McCarthy says, hey, we're 3-3. There's no reason to get rid of him and things like that. I hope that we can play this real fast. This clip from 105.3 The Fan.
You got the video and the clip?
Yes, I have it right here.
All right.
This is on 105.3 The Fan this morning. This is Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones losing his freaking mind.
Unmute it,
because how dare they, I don't know, question his authority?
Yeah, hit play.
How dare they question his ability to do his job? We're going to listen to Jerry Jones on 105.3 The Fan this morning.
Is it coming in through what? Oh, you know what? You didn't connect it. Hold on.
Okay. So we're going to go on a little bit more about this while we connect this. Here's the thing about it. Jerry Jones, I have personally met, and I have met billionaires in my lifetime, Joe.
Yeah.
There's no one more narcissistic than a billionaire, dude. No one more narcissistic than that.
It should be on now.
Yeah, I'm unmuting this on this end right here. 105.3 The Fan, Jerry Jones, losing his mind.
Listen, let me tell you what I'll do. Let me tell you what I'll do about it. I will
it's a little low.
Let us sit down and look at the decisions we've made over the last several years. Okay? I'll look at it. Now,
that's the audio from the clip.
On a damn phone call with you over a radio and sitting here and throwing all the good out with the dishwater, you have got to be smoking something over there this morning. I'm not. And I really don't, and I don't even want our listeners to listen to me, to talk about, this is not your job. Your job isn't to let me go over all the reasons that I did something and I'm sorry that I did it. That's not your job.
Well, my job is to ask why.
A job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the team is.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. You're not going to figure out what the team is doing right or wrong. If you are, or any 5 or 10 like you need to come to this meeting I'm going to today. There are 32 teams here. You're geniuses.
Jerry,
okay? Y'all really think you're going to sit here with a microphone and tell me all of the things that I've done wrong and without going over the rights?
Well,
now, listen, we both know we're talking to a lot of great fans and a lot of great listeners. And I am very sorry for what happened out there Sunday. I'm sick about what happened Sunday. Now, I'm not talking to these yahoos on the end of this phone. I'm talking to you, the fans that are listening this morning. And we can spend a lot of time going over zigging and zagging. One of the stupidest things I've ever done that anybody has ever analyzed is buy the Cowboys. It was an idiot that did that. So idiot things can turn into good decisions. Okay? Smart things can turn into bad decisions. The facts are that when you make one, you don't really know whether it's going to be good or not at the time. So let's just go ahead. I'm trying to answer your questions, man. You want some conversation this morning? You're getting it.
Jerry Jones here.
Okay, that is Jerry Jones on 105.3 The Fan
Let me tell you,
this morning. It got even worse as time went on. Okay, because later on he was saying, "Hey, we're just asking questions that are on the fans' mind," and he goes, "That is not your job. Your job is to be a voice for us as the Cowboys flagship radio station." Basically saying that he wants 105.3 The Fan to be state-sponsored media, like it's China, like it's Russia, like it's Iran. You need to be propaganda radio. How dare you question me? They were later on. This was about a 20-minute interview. At some point, they said, "Look, man, we knew as fans that the Cowboys needed help on the defensive line. We knew that the Cowboys needed help at running back. You did nothing about that. You're the general manager. You did nothing about it. Why?" And then he goes, "Oh, so we're going to question me now? We're going to question the decisions that I made or didn't make?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's what the fans want to know." The radio hosts go on to say, "Hey, look, there might be some apathy from fans. Fans might tune out because they know what's going to end up happening. This team, even if they make the playoffs, aren't going to be Super Bowl contenders, right?
Yeah.
They've lost 3 games at home, giving up 119 points. Nearly unprecedented. It's only happened 4 times in 49 years. By the way, the team that last did that was the Cowboys. And it was recent. The Cowboys right now are the joke of the NFL, which is weird because they're 3-3. There are half the teams in the NFL would love to have the Cowboys record, but they're the joke of the NFL right now because they have a joke of a GM, joke of an owner right now, and because of the expectations that are put forth and because the fan base is getting restless.
And you know what? Since it is Monday, we have to go ahead and do this
Welcome to another
to Cowboy fan. You know what that is?
Oh, we gotta pour one out. Pour one out.
I'm gonna let it all play out.
Let's get that out. Let's get that out. Oh my God, that's a little brutal, dude. That's more brutal than the 47-9 loss. Now, Joe, I am not a Cowboy fan, but you are. You are. Watching that game against the Lions and seeing the Lions, because it was kind of close in the first quarter. What was it, 7-3? I mean, the Cowboys got the lead early on, 3-0. But then it all began to unravel towards the end of the second quarter. And the implosion happened. Part of it was that trick play for Laporta's touchdown.
Yeah, no, the implosion happened because you knew that Cowboys are going to be playing a team with the winning record. You know, you saw this coming if you were a Cowboy fan. Cowboy fan knew it was going to happen. You know, come on.
Okay, so here's the thing. How much of this is injury?
Some of it is injury. Could they have played better? Sure, they had a team at full strength. They
no
could have
Micah
played
Parsons,
better.
no DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah, they could have played better, but would they have won? Absolutely not. You know, and it's amazing to me to see the disparity of what the Cowboys have become.
Mm-hmm.
Teams don't scheme against the Cowboys. They know exactly what they're going to do.
Just run up
because
the middle.
They do not have a running game to speak of. They're just going to drop back in coverage, cover their wide receivers, kind of cover the middle of the field and make Dak pass the ball. That's all they're doing. That every single game you watch, that's exactly what they do. They're going to put Zeke out there, whoever they want to put out there to run. They know they're only going to get 2-3 yards, maybe at the most.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they'll get lucky and break away for 15 or 20, but it's not going to be like they're going to run it down for 60, 70 yards and go into the end zone. That's not going to happen.
The Lions have too much talent.
Oh, and they have a
This
a
is-
hell of a coach. A coach that can make
Dan Campbell.
adjustments.
This is a team that is flashy, that has a competent quarterback in Jared Goff. I mean, a quarterback who's won a Super Bowl in Jared Goff. They have the run game with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown. They have legit wide receivers, including a legit wide receiver one. They have Laporta at tight end, who's a very good young tight end. They're just built to play, baby. They're built to play. The Cowboys are not even near the league of the Detroit Lions. Why would any Cowboy fan at this point, mid-October, believe that the team has any chance of
Look
making
at
the
what
Super Bowl?
Sith Elias is saying. Lions were one play away from the Super Bowl trip. They're better than us, even when we're at 88%.
Yeah.
You know, and there's no lies in that statement at all. And that's what I was saying. Even if this team, the Cowboys, had been playing the Lions at full strength, still would have been a loss. Still would have amounted to a loss. And the thing is that you look at the schedule that lies ahead for the Dallas Cowboys. It doesn't get really much easier for them.
No, the Cowboys are in danger of going 3-7, 3-8.
If they go, let's say they lose these next 4 games, they're done. Mathematically, they've already almost put themselves out of contention.
Right.
You know, they're maybe 1 or 2 games away, and then that's it. They're donezo, man.
Now, this week they have the week off, right? So it's their bye week. They can prepare for a evening matchup, a primetime matchup against the San Francisco 49ers, who are looking a little bit better these days, back at 500, right? The Atlanta Falcons on the road, the Dirty Birds, dude. You know Atlanta's going to put up some points.
Atlanta's probably going to embarrass them too, because Atlanta is a better team right now.
They're a better team, and on top of that, offensively, they put up points.
Man, they're a scrappy team, Atlanta. They get after it, dude. They've been in every game that they've lost this season.
Then you've got the Eagles at home.
Oh, yeah, that's not going to happen, bro. They've been playing really bad at home.
And then the Texans, who got Joe Mixon back and have only lost 1 game. And then the Cowboys go on the road to play the Washington Commanders on Thanksgiving, or the week before Thanksgiving, actually. So now I look at it, Joe. Cowboys might be sitting there at 3-8, 4-7. I think best case scenario, the Cowboys are 5-6.
They're probably going
Going
to
into
wind up being a
Thanksgiving.
lottery team, man.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, there's no lottery in the NFL. They're going to be a team picking at 12 or 13. And what do you pick? It's going to be an unsexy pick when it's all said and done. The fact of the matter is that the Cowboys got embarrassed this past weekend. And, dude, one of the most embarrassing parts of that game was being down 34-6 and Brandon Aubrey going out there lining up for a field goal. Down 34-6. Let's go for a field goal.
Look at Tex-Mex Frank. Cowboys not losing this week. Take that, hater.
That is true, Tex-Mex Frank.
You know why? Because they're off.
You can't lose if you don't play.
They said,
I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet.
No, we haven't talked Spurs.
We
just
will
yet,
talk. We
but
will talk Spurs.
We will.
We will talk Spurs. But it's interesting that Jerry Jones is going off and blaming everybody but himself. Because if Jerry Jones was only the owner and his GM performed the same way that Jerry Jones is performing now in those duties, he would have fired his ass years ago. But Jerry Jones is a narcissist who does not care about winning. You can tell he doesn't care about winning by the actions that he does as GM. It's about selling T-shirts. It's about selling tickets. It's about the valuation of that organization.
Well, I've already gone on record and said what Jerry Jones does is he's taking advantage of the Cowboy fan, because he knows the Cowboy fans are the most loyal fan base in the NFL. And Jerry does not have any desire to go out there and put up a winning team.
No.
What he wants to do is he just wants to use Cowboy fans as a money-making scheme. He just sits back, puts out an inferior product, and reaps the benefits of the most loyal fan base in the NFL, because he knows Cowboy fans will go out and buy the merch. He knows that you're going to go out there to Jerry World and fill the seats, fill the stadium, pay the money, go and buy beverages and all that, tailgate, do the whole scene, we them boys and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, Jerry has no desire to win, and he's proven that for the last 28 years, because he continues to make bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. At some point, It's like the board, right? You're a board member, right? You're
Right.
the vice president.
But
The board has to vote him out at some point.
Now, here's the thing. He's the owner, though.
I know. That's the funny
He's
thing.
the owner.
He's the owner.
Cowboy fandom is all about nostalgia,
Yeah.
living back in the VHS days of the 1990s. But, Joe, at some point, you got to jump off the ship, right?
No.
At some point, Cowboy fans have got to be like,
Cowboy
no, man.
fans will ride or die with this
So there's
team.
no apathy.
They're going to stay on it like the Titanic, Mike, and they're going to go down with the ship like that captain did.
The movie The Town, they got the taste. They got the taste of 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. They got some Super Bowls in the 70s, and they're like, okay, well, we're just going to be fans for life.
I'm a Cowboy fan. I hate what's going on, but I'm still going to be here for the team, ride or die.
Well, I
with
mean,
them.
let's localize this with the Spurs.
Yeah.
Okay, the Spurs haven't done anything in nearly a decade, right? Is there apathy? There was apathy before Wemby came over. I mean, think about it that way. You know, the Spurs had 20 years of winning seasons. Then, you know, Duncan retires. Kawhi leaves. The Spurs suddenly have losing seasons with DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge out there, and DeJounte Murray's gone. Spurs fandom went down. We stopped going to games. We stopped going to games. Dude, we would watch Valley Sports. The seats were empty.
Yeah, but you know what? When LaMarcus Aldridge was here, Spurs still went to the playoffs, right?
Right.
DeMar DeRozan, not so much. But you know what? DeMar came at a weird time when the team was in flux. Didn't ask to be here. It was the nephew, the Deuce, number 2. Wanted out. Spurs got what they could for him. DeMar DeRozan was one of the most underappreciated players that the Spurs have had in recent memory.
Right.
Spurs fans didn't appreciate him when he was here. But now that he's gone and the team got worse, it's like, hey, he did make the team better.
At least we had talent.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. We saw Spurs fans wane on going to the games.
Yeah.
Spurs fans refuse to go to those games because the Frost Bank Center might hold 17,000 and change in there, but there were maybe only 12,000 butts and seats. There was a lot of empty seats, but that doesn't happen at Cowboy games. Jerry Jones has no incentive to put out a good team out there because all Cowboy fans are suckers. That's all they are. They're suckers to this team because of nostalgia, and because my daddy took me to those games back in the day, and because my grandpa, and because of, you know, Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin and all the lore, the team of the past. Jerry Jones feasts off of all that, and he knows that Cowboy fans are suckers. You have to be 35 years old to actually remember a Super Bowl win by this team. 33, 35 years old. And you'd be in like kindergarten at that point.
No. Right now, it's
there's no reason. Sorry, Joe. There's no reason why this team should not be Super Bowl ready every 10 years. And Cowboy fans will come out and say, well, we have won one before the Niners. Cowboys have gone, 28 years? And it's been the Niners. It's been 29 years since 94, 95, when they last won a Super Bowl. True. But the Niners have gone back to the Super Bowl multiple times and have gone to conference championship games. The Cowboys not winning another Super Bowl is one thing. That's been 28, whatever years it's been. But not making a conference championship game. How? You are the marquee franchise. Right now we're watching the Major League Baseball playoffs. The Dodgers and Yankees need to be back in the playoffs or make a big run every 5 years or so because they have more money than everybody. They have more prestige than everybody. And right now, the Cowboys are that team in the NFL. They have been for decades. And right now, free agents look at them as leverage. Von Miller and players like that.
To play here.
No one wants to play for the Cowboys. We always talk about that former tight end of the Cowboys who went over to the Houston Texans, who was like, what's the difference? Well, that's a circus over there. Jerry Jones landed a helicopter on the practice field the other day.
You know, it all boils down to one thing that's very simple. The Cowboys do not have a winning culture right now. And a lot of the other players in the league know that. If you look at other teams that have built a winning culture, players want to go play there because they're talking football. Mm-hmm. They're not out here talking about Jerry Jones, the owner, flying in and landing on on the turf there during practice, coming out.
Right.
When you're a Cowboy, a Dallas Cowboy player, you get enamored with the flash, being a Dallas Cowboy, prime time, that whole bit, America's team and whatnot. They just care about the wrong thing. They need to care about winning.
Right. Tony Onales says Dalton Schultz was the guy, former Cowboy player, who said the Cowboys culture was a circus led by Jerry Jones, and that the Texans take football seriously. And the Texans right now are doing very well. It's funny, the Texans were winning games despite the fact that they were playing awful. And isn't that kind of a hallmark of a good team, Joe? When you are a team that is beaten up, a lot of injuries, and you still win games. The Houston Texans right now at 5-1. The Texans play the Cowboys, Joe. I cannot wait for that game. That's going to be a game, Joe, that I think some casual Cowboy fans, because I think we believe that Cowboy fans are all diehards. There's got to be a percentage there that are casuals. They're going to turn and look over at the Sancha team and go, Houston Texans are what? They're 8-1, 5-1. We'll take them. Houston Texans 5-1, 3-0 at home, 2-1 on the road. Beat the Buffalo Bills at home, a team that I thought was going to go in there and beat the beat up Texans. Texans won that game in OT.
Yeah, ride or die. Whatever happens with the Cowboys, I'm still going to be a fan. I'm always going to be a fan of Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
Just not happy with the way things are going. Getting frustrated here because, like every other Cowboy fan, they want the team to win. They want them to go far into the playoffs. They want to see the team return to greatness and glory and go into the Super Bowl and have something to get excited about because it's been more than 28 years.
Hand over fist saying we still them boys because haters like MJ still out here talking about Cowboys. I talk about the Cowboys because we're in Texas. If I was doing this podcast from Seattle, I wouldn't be talking about the Cowboys.
Look at JHNSB. Houston is nasty. I'm good. Houston.
Some parts of it.
Yeah.
Some parts of Houston are nasty. Some parts of Dallas are nasty. Some parts of Austin. We all know some parts of San Antonio are too. But again, the Cowboys play the Texans on November 18th. That's going to be a primetime game on ESPN. That's when I think the Cowboy casuals start looking at that gear of the Texans and start going to Academy Sports, start wearing those T-shirts over there.
They don't want you to compare the Cowboys and Spurs ever again.
Do you know what comparison I have? Both teams are led by guys that should have retired a long time ago.
Oh no, not again, man.
Both fan bases are living on glories from a long time ago, and they don't let go. Cowboys aren't going to win. Cowboys aren't going to be seriously winners until Jerry Jones is gone. And when I say gone, Jerry Jones needs to die.
Well, I mean,
the Spurs aren't going to be any good anymore.
Jerry looks half dead already, man.
Spurs aren't going to be any good anymore. I'm not saying until Pop dies, until Pop retires. Until Pop retires.
I think the team can still be good with Coach Pop at the helm. The team realistically is like maybe one or two pieces away from really contending.
You're right. And one of those pieces is the coach.
No.
Dude, no, there's not one NBA executive right now. There's not one NBA talking head or figurehead who believes that Coach Pop right now is a top 50 percentile coach in the NBA.
When you have won 5 chips,
who cares?
You deserve to say when you're done.
No, who cares?
Not listen to MJ here.
Janet Jackson said it best.
You're done.
Janet Jackson said it best. What have you done for me lately? Haven't done crap.
You know what Coach Pop has done?
Yeah.
He's made this team better, and your ass is still gonna go out there and go see him.
Because like Cowboy fans, I'm a sucker.
You can go out there and still see him.
Woo! I feel like Stevie Wonder over here, like Spur Hernandez over here.
Watch him every day.
You know what? Let's give some Texans some love, man. We've been talking a lot about the Cowboys. The Texans have gone out. Remember, we were talking about the fact that they were beating bad teams barely. They beat the Colts 29-27. They beat the Bears 19-13. They beat Jacksonville 24-20, which was a tough matchup that they should have lost, by the way. Buffalo, somehow they beat them 23-20. I said it was overtime. It was actually last second field goal. But then New England, they go out there in Foxborough and beat up on the Patriots 41-21. Green Bay is next. But I look at this Texans team, when they have a running game, Joe, they're dangerous. Joe Mixon, back from injury. Welcome back. 13 carries, 102 yards, and a touchdown. Dameon Pierce, back from the dead. 8 carries, 76 yards, and a touchdown. CJ Stroud, all he had to do was manage the game. Threw 3 touchdown passes, only 192 yards. Stephon Diggs with a touchdown. Tank Dell with a touchdown. If you're putting up 41 points on the road, Joe, even if it's against a bad team, and you're missing your wide receiver 1 and Nico Collins, this is a team worth looking at, Joe. It's a team worth looking at right now. And when you look at the standings and the playoffs, right now the 1 seed is still the Kansas City Chiefs, man. Kansas City Chiefs are still the 1 seed when it's all said and done. 5-0 on the season. Texans are 5-1. The Ravens and Bills are 4-2. The Steelers are 4-2. Steelers are the worst 4-2 team I've ever seen in my entire life. Chargers 3-2. Colts at 3-3. Broncos at 3-3. In the NFC, you still have the Vikings at 5-0, undefeated. But you know the Lions are going to go in there and play them, right?
The Lions are a good team.
The Lions are going to be, dude. The Falcons. Who would have thought that the 3rd and 4th best team in the NFC right now would be the Falcons and the Commanders? Bucks are up there. Bears up there. It is possible, Joe. Would you like to see this? It is possible that the entire NFC North makes the playoffs.
Hey,
if the season ended
man.
right now, because there are 7 playoff teams, if the season ended right now, it is very possible all 4 teams make it, because last place, Joe, last place in the NFC North right now is 4-2. Packers, Bears, 4-2. The only losses they have, Joe, really, are to each other. That's crazy. Man. That is crazy, Joe. Oh my goodness. This team, this season is amazing. Amazing. They're 16-4 against teams outside of their division. Good grief.
Yeah, Tim Gonzalez is saying so. Jets and Raiders made a trade.
Yeah, so that happened earlier today. They're finalizing the details. Might be too little too late, man. Adam Schefter's reporting that Devontae Adams, a star wide receiver, has been traded from the Las Vegas Raiders to the Jets, if you remember. The belief is he may have faked an injury. ESPN started reporting that he may have played his last game there. The head coach of the Raiders went out there and liked that post. He said he wanted to go to a couple of teams. Reportedly, it was either the Jets or the Saints, because the Saints have Derek Carr, but Derek Carr got hurt. Maybe he would have gone to the Saints had Derek Carr not gotten hurt. But he goes to play with the quarterback that made him famous, which is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers and the Jets lost last night on Monday Night Football. It might be too little too late. Yeah, they lost by 3. Too little too late. Because the Jets right now, if I'm not mistaken, are 2-4. So according to ESPN, the Raiders will receive a conditional 3rd-round draft pick. So they didn't even get a 2nd rounder. They were saying that if he does well, it becomes a 2nd rounder, but it's a conditional 3rd rounder as of right now in exchange for Devontae Adams, the star wide receiver, who, by the way, is more than likely a top 5 receiver in the NFL, just doesn't have the quarterback to do so. But are you surprised, Joe, that the trade was made? By the way, the Jets also, without a real head coach, right? They have an interim head coach as of right now because they fired Robert Saleh last week. The Jets at 2-4, 2 games outside the lead in the AFC East. On the outside looking in when it comes to the playoff, but they have to go out on a run. And the Jets are just not that good of a team.
Yeah, I knew they weren't going to be that great of a team. I mean, they're going to be all right. Their defense is good, serviceable.
Yeah, the defense is good. I mean, they lost to Denver 10-9. They lost to Minnesota 23-17. They lost to Buffalo 23-20. So think about that. They were within 1 possession against the Bills and Vikings, 2 really good teams. But they lost both of those games, and both of those games were at home. Now they go on the road this weekend. Primetime game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Why are the Jets always on primetime? No one gives 2 flying F's about
bigger
the Jets.
Bigger market.
I understand that, but no one cares about them.
No, because they got Aaron Rodgers on there. They're thinking that's going to bring the ratings in.
I'm looking at the list of games that they have. They have some winnable games. I'd say the next 8 games, they have 6 winnable games. Got some comments coming in on the YouTube chat, which is powered by MCS General Contracting. Tex-Mex Frank says, okay, Mike, just cross the line. We chose who we cheer for. Loyalty is different than being suckers. Just for that remark, I hope the Saints crap the bed against the rest of the year with the Cowboys. I hope at this point, I hope the Saints crap the bed too. Better draft pick. At some point, it's a race to the top or a race to the bottom. It's never about being a 500 team. So right now, if the Saints keep losing, I want them to keep losing. I want a top 8 pick at that point. See how that works? That's being a pragmatic fan that's understanding how things work. I saw this meme that asked the question, why does Aaron Rodgers look like whenever he throws an interception, Joe,
Yeah.
that he looks straight at the camera? Or when a bad play happens, he looks straight at the camera.
He's
It's kind of
breaking the
weird.
fourth wall.
He's breaking the fourth wall. Dude, you know what we haven't talked about? We talked about Jerry Jones losing his damn mind.
Yeah.
We talked about how the Cowboys had no run defense. Cowboys had no running attack.
No defense to speak of, you know.
What we didn't touch on was the $60 million man.
Yeah, Dakota Rain Prescott.
Dakota.
And you know what? Sith does not like to have any Dakota Rain Prescott slander here.
That was some bad quarterback play, man. And I know it's not all on him. I get it.
The old CD Lamb said, jump forward, right? Throw me the ball. I'll jump and get it.
Yeah.
You know what? When you're paying your quarterback, and not only your quarterback, you're paying him, what, 60 mil? You're paying your wide receiver quite a bit as well, if I remember, because he was holding out.
Combined, it's 90 million.
Right? You would think
94.
that after all that smack talking CD does, he would actually go out there and catch a ball. Do something. You know, you can't be calling out your quarterback, and then you go and look at your performance as well and show that you've been a little bit inconsistent this season.
Now, CD Lamb, 7 receptions, 89 yards. Jalen Tolbert had 4 for 43. Dak Prescott on the day, 178-yard passing, 2 interceptions. We made the joke that he was going to come in the fourth quarter, pass for 200 yards, and throw for 350. But they brought in Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush also threw an interception. Quarterback play was not that good, Joe. It wasn't that good. Can you imagine Dak Prescott's going to go from the MVP runner-up to somebody who's not even going to sniff the Pro Bowl? And in the middle of all that, Cowboys gave him $60 million a year, guaranteed for how many seasons? 4?
4 more seasons. Yep, 4 more seasons of misery. But
Brutal.
For better or for worse, that's the Cowboys QB1. That's what they're going to have. And, you know, the thing that the Cowboys need is they need some help, man. They need to get a run game. If they had a run game, that would actually help the team quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know, they'd have something that they could go ahead and leverage there, you know, because you could actually, you know, have a run game to speak of. And if you're not throwing the ball well, you can just run it down their throats. But this time, Cowboys don't have that luxury, and everybody knows that's why it's easy to scheme against them. And they just drop back and into coverage and just wait for Dakota to throw the ball up and hopefully get another interception. He threw, I think, was it 3 or 4 against the Lions this last game?
Well, it was 2, but it could have been 3. I think one got.
He had 3. I think he had 3 on the whole game.
Who,
3 or
Dak?
4. Yeah.
Dak had 2 interceptions, but he had one that was an interception, but it got called back because of a penalty. He wanted to have a third one.
Yeah, man. I was going to say, dude, like, he was just making poor decisions because he wanted to go ahead and force the issue, and he wanted to help his team. He wants to win. You know, I understand that. But you can't get overzealous, because when you start going ahead and doing that, you make bad decisions. And I think that's the one thing he has to learn, to kind of calm down a little bit in that pocket. And if nobody's open, it's okay to throw the ball away. You know, just don't throw an interception.
I was about to pivot right now, but we have a $5 super chat coming in from Sam Salinas, $4.99. Sam, I was already pivoting, Sam. He says this $5 is for no more Cowboys talk the rest of the show. I'm done. For you, and I was already doing the pivot. I'm wearing the jersey right now. We're going to talk about the Spurs. Before we talk about them, let's give some love to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 with us since day one. Yeah. Sam, we're talking Spurs next, baby. Stand by.
Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow, not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah, I subscribe on YouTube and Spotify myself. You can also go to kens5.com app and learn more about Jeff Garcia, see all his articles out there. Jeff, over the weekend, was one of the moderators for the Comic-Con that was downtown. Joe, I did not post a photo of this, but I'll probably do it later. Girlfriend and I were with my friend Anthony and his fiance. We went to the Jeff Arcuri comedy performance at the Tobin.
Yeah.
We decided to go get some drinks. We went to Rosario's, had some drinks over there, had some dinner. Driving back through downtown, we're making our way down Houston Street, Joe. Not where the Majestic is, like a couple of blocks away from the Majestic, going towards like the Alamos towards the right, and then you have like Travis Park to the left. And we're at a stop sign, not a tall tale. This actually happened. I have photographs of this. At a stop sign, I have a little buzz going on, Joe. I've had some drinks. I'm looking outside the window, and I'm like, that guy looks familiar. And I'm looking and going, that girl looks familiar. That guy looks familiar. And I realized that outside my window on Houston Street, East Houston, was the entire cast of Cobra Kai.
Oh, yeah.
All of them. All of them. It was Billy Zabka, Ralph Macchio, Peyton List, the guy who plays Hawk, the guy who plays Miguel Solo, whatever his name is. Like, there was like 8 of them just walking by themselves, no bodyguards, just walking down East Houston. And I was thinking to myself, A, I knew they were in town for Comic-Con, which is great. B, I'm glad that they're checking out the town. But I was kind of fearful for where they were at. Okay, because they weren't in the nicer part of downtown. They weren't in Southtown. They were about a block and a half away from where it gets sketchy. And I felt like yelling at them, go that way. Yeah. Go towards the Alamo. Go towards River Center. Go towards the Hyatt. But they were just walking along. And I rolled down the window and I screamed Cobra Kai forever. And we drove off. I took a couple of photos, but they didn't pose for them. I didn't even get Ralph Macchio in the photo. The photo that I have is of the younger ones, the one who plays Miguel and Peyton List and all that. Hawk. That's because I was at a certain angle in the my friend's Jeep. Yeah, but I couldn't get to it. So
yeah, they don't want to taking pictures of them out in the wild.
You got to pay for that.
Yeah, exactly.
You got, but what I would have done if we were by a bar, because we weren't by a bar.
Yeah,
like if we were on East Houston Street, we weren't by any bar. What used to be the ticket, I guess, is still over there. Had they been there, I would have gotten out of the car and I would have asked them, "Hey, I want to get a round of drinks for you guys." Shot for everybody. Would have done that, but there was no bar there, so we just took off. But Tall Tale, I have a photo.
Nah, it really happened.
I have a photo.
But you know what? Guess who's today's guest of Locked On Spurs? It's me.
Nice.
I was on Locked On Spurs. Me and Jeff recorded, full disclosure, yesterday. So this episode came out early this morning. Make sure you go and check it out. You can go ahead and follow Jeff on YouTube at Locked On Spurs. And you can watch my appearance here coming out on the Locked On Spurs podcast, which we're kind of previewing today's Spurs versus Heat game.
That's right. Spurs back in action tonight, a preseason game. Spurs are 2-1 on the preseason. Start the regular season on the 24th, so in 9 days on the road against the Dallas Mavericks. Spurs have a couple of home games against the Houston Rockets. It's exciting part of the year. Joe, I understand that Jeremy Sohan had himself a game.
Yeah.
You know, he's it's preseason. It's hard to get excited about preseason. I get excited when it's like my boy Stephon Castle, my son. But you know, we're seeing more. The Spurs beat the Utah Jazz in a preseason game over the weekend, 126-120 here at the Frost Bank Center. The Spurs with a big fourth quarter to make it happen, going over the box score. You look at it, Joe. I keep seeing Julian Champagnie there as the starter. If Pop starts Champagnie over Castle, I'm going to lose my mind.
Why?
Because one is better than the other. One is a number 4 overall pick in the draft.
No,
the other one is a free agent.
You need to slow your roll a little bit because he's looking good right now. He's a rookie and it's preseason. We don't know how he's going to look in the context of a regular NBA season game. And you do want to get run. Don't get me wrong. I want the young man to get run. But it's important for rookies not to get discouraged early on. Because if he's not having a great performance because he's going up against a better, let's say, plethora of talent out there, you don't want him to get into his head. You know, you want him to be productive. You want to kind of ease him in a little bit.
Jeremy Sohan didn't get eased in. Jeremy Sohan started all but 4 of his games.
Different though, because you have the
Castle
luxury,
is different. You know why?
You have the luxury of you're not better guards, but you have the luxury of guards now.
Castle is different because he is better than Sohan was at this point in their careers.
That's what you say right now. But again, let's see what happens in the context of a regular season
Champagny
game.
was undrafted.
Champagny
So
hasn't had a
we're
good preseason?
going to have a number 4 overall pick in the draft who was a national champion, who was a 5-star
That doesn't mean
recruit.
shit when you're coming to the NBA, though.
Well, then Julian Champagny being undrafted out of St. John's shouldn't mean
Who's had
shit
a better
either.
preseason, Champagny or Castle?
I would say they'll probably be even.
No, Champagny has had a great preseason, but again,
Champagny,
it's preseason.
Champagny 4 of 8 from the field, 15 points in 21 minutes against the Jazz.
He's been shooting lights out, man. But again, it's preseason, and a lot of Spurs fans, what they tend to do is kind of overreact a little bit. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Champagny. I like what I see out of Castle, but we don't know what the lineup is really going to look like now that Devin Vassell is out. I would, I would like to see more Castle.
Joe,
that's just me,
Joe,
though.
you get any head coach worth a damn, Eric Spoelstra.
I understand.
Will Hardy. You give me Ime Udoka, right? They would all start Stephon Castle in this situation over Julian Champagny. No. That's not what I say. That is what common sense says. The only coach that is not going to start Stephon Castle and is going to start an undrafted guy,
another reason to hate
Julian
on
Champagny,
Come on,
is Pop. That delusional dude is going to do Stephon Castle dirty this way by going, okay, we're going to play him 15 minutes. We're going to ease him in. Jeremy Sohan, who wasn't ready for the NBA, who's gotten better, I guess you can say, in certain facets of his game, wasn't as good as Stephon Castle is now. And if Champagny is going out there getting more run than Stephon Castle, that is malpractice as a coach.
Champagny's had a good game too, man. That's all I've been saying since preseason.
Then
if
let
you're
him
singing the praises of Castle, also sing the praises of Champagny because he's had a good preseason.
You know what? He's also had a great March 2 years ago. I saw him do a great game in Austin that one time.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you're just singing the praises of Castle because you like what you see in preseason, Champagny's had a good preseason as well.
Now, the one that hasn't had a good preseason is Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes is struggling out there shooting
Spurs
2 for 7.
Is already turning on Harrison Barnes. Seth Elias was at the game, right? Because he won the tickets courtesy of one Spernandez and Chicana Fuerte of Fuerte Productions. If you need your videography, go ahead and check her out. She's great at what she does. He went out there to the game on the weekend with his brother, and he said that while he was out there watching the game, good seats. Fernandez, he doesn't get the cheap stuff, man. He's getting the primo seats, right? The lower bowl. And Elias is there, and he says that when Harrison Barnes gets in the game, Spurs, and he doesn't have a good performance and he's leaving, Spur fans like, boo. They're booing.
Jesse Martinez saying Tony Parker didn't start right away. Tony Parker was a 29th pick in the overall draft.
Tony Parker, I believe he was 19 years of age, right? Something
the
like that.
29th pick in the overall draft. We're talking about the number 4 player in the draft on a team that barely won 20 some odd games last year. Come on, man. Come on.
You see, but here's the thing with Castle. Castle's young. Yes, he's great. You can tell he's going to be a good player. Really good player. I like his energy. I like what I see out of the kid out
He's
there.
a lockdown defender, man.
You always go ahead and you miss one thing in particular here with these rookies is turnovers. And that's one of the things.
He does have turnover problems.
He has turnover problems.
So far.
Because he's so young, though. And you can fix that up with experience. But that's the thing. For everything that you see out of him, you also have to go ahead and say, hey, he's turnover prone.
Hey, Caitlin Clark's turnover prone, but no one gave a crap. No one gave a crap 2 months ago when I brought that up.
She won the rookie of the year.
Dude, Stephon Castle, it's funny because they're like, well, Castle can't shoot a 3. You know what? Castle can handle the ball. Castle can run the floor. Castle can run the floor.
You know who else who can't shoot a 3?
Wemby.
Collins. And you know who else can't shoot a 3? Most of this Spurs team can't shoot a 3.
Yeah, so Ann can't make a 3 either.
Yeah.
Castle's a lockdown defender. Castle's the second best defender on this entire team. Ranking the defenders in this team, number 1 by far is Victor Wembanyama. He should be Defensive Player of the Year. Number 2 is Stephon Castle. Number 3 is Jeremy Sohan. That is the ranking of defensive players on this team. So to have him on the bench or play fewer minutes than Champagny is a travesty. Absolute travesty. You gave any other coach, hey, Spoelstra, you could play 30 minutes and start Champagny or play 30 minutes and start Stephon Castle. Who are you taking? Spoelstra would be like, Castle. You asked that of of Ime Udoka, of Mike Budenholzer. You ask that of any coach. Will Hardy. Who you taking? Castle. You ask that of Pop. His 75-year-old ass goes, Champagne. Yeah, he played well at St. John's.
Well,
I'll take Julian Champagne.
You know what?
Only coach that would do that.
This is the reason why Coach Pop is going to play Champagne over Castle. That comment right there by Matt Lerma.
Yeah, let's see this happen in the regular season. And a lockdown defender and somebody who can run the break and who's electric in Stephon Castle. We're gonna number 4 overall pick. We're gonna take the undrafted guy from St. John's. Screw that, man.
You know what's
You know what? You're right, Joe. We are 2 or 3 pieces away from having a good team, and one of them's head coach.
Always hating on. We always find a way to hate on Coach Pop, man. But out there, when you're playing in the context of a game, Coach Pop ain't the problem, man.
Wait. What was that question? JHNSB says, quote, "It's hilarious watching chat use shooting as an excuse to keep Champagne in the rotation, but when you bring up Sohan, suddenly shooting doesn't matter anymore." That's the thing. The shiny toy.
The raffle was
raffle was rigged.
It was not rigged.
For those of you who don't know, on Fridays we're doing giveaways here on the Alamo City Sportscast.
Yeah. You know what? Speaking of giveaways, I don't have it here. I put it up over there. It was the hologram that I got.
Nice.
From the Alamo, from the big city to Big Texas Comic Con.
Yeah.
So there's this guy that I met out there, my boy Amir, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's really cool, man. He didn't have any like business cards on him or any social media to speak of. And I was talking to him and I was telling him, well, I kind of do this podcast, every day, and I'm always looking for stuff to give out. I really like this hologram here. I'll take 2, and he's like, got all excited because I was buying. I was like, I'm not asking, I said, I'm telling you what I want to do. I'm going to keep one for me and I want to give one away. I said, do you have any contact information? Because I'd like to buy more these holograms to give away on the show, And he's like, oh, yeah. He was all, wanting to give me his contact info because he's like, usually when people come and they say they have a podcast or a live stream, they want to get something for free. I'm like, no, bro, I'm not asking for handouts. I like your work. I'm willing to pay for it, because that's the best way you can go ahead and support anybody that does something is you pay them for their time, pay them for what they're worth, help the small business owner. So, yeah, dude, he says that he can make custom holograms. So it got me thinking, man. That's something that we might think of here.
That's awesome, dude.
A custom hologram. Maybe we could make a custom hologram of you. Give it away.
Nice.
I'll give it to Leha.
Nice. So the Spurs picked up a 2nd-round draft pick yesterday. They pulled off a trade, and it's funny how pissed off Spurs fans got online. Our good friend, what's her name? Zed's dead.
Oh, yeah. She used to be Bushby.
Yeah. She got upset about it all because the Spurs traded with the Sacramento Kings for Jalen McDaniels and a 2nd-round draft pick. Spurs will reportedly immediately waive McDaniels once the deal becomes complete. They're taking a contract from Sacramento and getting another 2nd-rounder. And all these Spurs fans out there going, well, the Spurs could use this for future trades in the future to improve their trade process. No, they're not. No one gives a flying F about 2nd-round draft picks.
Somebody does, because you could use it as trade bait if you're going to want to move on from somebody.
For what? Do you know how valuable 2nd-round draft picks are? They weren't even used to get Julian Champagne. They weren't.
Where did Manu get drafted?
Yeah, 25 years ago.
Where did Tony get drafted?
Back 1st round, 25 years ago. So here's what I'm looking at here, Joe. Here's what I'm looking at here. The Spurs have like 20 second rounders, and I'm just ballparking it. I think the number is like 18 in the next 5 years. Let's count how many of these 2nd rounders did a crap for the Spurs, right? Since 2000, when the Spurs started using these 2nd rounders, right? Back in 2000, we used a 2nd rounder to get a guy named Corey Hightower, who was then traded to the Lakers.
I like this comment from the Drew Show. He says, "What was with the shades, Jimenez? I forgot
to take them off, and I just kept them on." Okay, so 2000, did we get anything? No. In 2001, we got Robertus Javokas and Brian Bracey. Never played for the Spurs. We got Randy Holcomb, Luis Scola. Never played for the Spurs.
Yeah, Luis Scola never did. No, not here.
2004, Romain Sato, Sergei Karolov. Never played for the Spurs. We didn't have one in 05. 06, we didn't have one. 07, Marcus Williams, Georgios Przingis. Never played with us. James Zist in 2008. Nando DiColo. Jack McClinton. Never played. Oh, we had Dwan Blair. We have one right there. Dwan Blair played for the Spurs. He played significant minutes for a while. So we got one. Ryan Richards. Adam Hanga. Marcus Denman. Deshaun Thomas. 2 second rounds that got traded. Katie Lalonde. Jaron Blossom game. Shimizi Mitu. Quindari Witherspoon. Trey Jones. We got a second one. Joe Wieskamp. City Sissoko.
Where is
Harrison
Wieskamp
Ingram
now?
I have no idea.
He gone.
That is 20 years worth of second round selections the Spurs have, and the Spurs have used 2 of them.
Look at this.
And we're all excited the Spurs are racking up second round draft picks. They mean nothing. We are in a world in the NBA where talent is in the first round. Back in the day, we say Manu Ginobili. No one was scouting Europe. The Spurs went out there. We're getting Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili because there was a bias against European players. Guess what? All the star players right now are coming from Europe. We're talking about a decade, the 2020s, which might not have one single American MVP in the NBA because we've gone from Giannis to Jokic to maybe to maybe SGA to maybe Luka Doncic to maybe Victor Wembanyama.
Did you see this comment here?
There's no more diamonds in the rough is what I'm saying.
Tavares says, need a call-in show. We had a call-in show. We tried to go ahead and put numbers out there, but nobody called in. Nobody wanted to call in.
We did that early on. If we want to bring that back, we got to do it.
It's easy to do. I mean, I just plug the phone in here and boom, we can take calls. But one of the things that now that they're bringing this up, and one of the things that I was wanting to transition to is maybe once in the middle of the week,
right?
We do this show as a live stream, but to get more interactive with the fan base, we also do it on X Spaces. So they can get on the stage.
I like it.
We can give them about a minute or two to come in and rebuttal.
I like it. But I like it. So, I mean, anybody here excited about second rounders? Because I'm not excited about it. Diamond in the rough. Dude, when was the last time a second rounder was a diamond in the rough in the entire NBA?
Yeah.
In the entire NBA. The diamonds in the rough don't exist anymore. We know who you are now. We now have scouts all over the world. It's not like teams are going, nah, we're not going to go to Europe. Now we're not going to go to Africa. Now we're not going to go to Asia. We're everywhere now. The internet, social media, we can find you. We know where you're at. There's no diamond in the rough. Wemby was not a diamond in the rough. Dude, right now, the Spurs are scouting 8th graders. That's how it's going right now. So, Spurs got another second rounder. Great. Well, we can use that to flip it for additional draft capital later on and move up in the draft. No one's going to allow you to move up in the draft in the first round by giving them a crap ton of second rounders. It doesn't happen that way. Hand of a fist saying Spurs are collecting second rounders like Pokemon cards. Now, here's the thing, though. The Spurs do have a lot of first rounders, right? So we get that stick, Joe. We poke Brian right on the side and go what? Do something, right? Spurs have 2 first rounders this year. We've got our own. We've got Atlanta's unprotected. Chicago is top 10 protected. Charlotte is top 14 protected. We need some of these draft picks to come around.
This is the comment of the fucking day, dude.
I picked my wife in the second round. They're not all.
Wow, bro.
What does Will Ferrell say in The Other Guys when he introduces Eva Mendes to Mark Wahlberg? Hey, they're not all first round draft picks.
Yeah. You know what? I owe what's his name? Mario Cavazos a prize because the brother was out there right at the Big Texas Comic Con, and I don't tell him to do these things. He's wearing the Alamo City Sportscast T-shirt walking around the Big Texas Comic-Con, and I met up with him afterwards.
Yeah.
Took a picture with him, but I'm going to give him a prize. And you know what? I like this comment so much. You're getting something too, Midtown Texas. I'm going to get in contact with you on the X. I'm going to send him a prize pack of some stickers that have been donated graciously by Tex-Mex Frank. So we're going to send you over a sticker pack for that comment, man. I appreciate it.
People justify, according to JHNSB, a second round with Nikola Jokic once in a lifetime, people. Okay, yeah, it happens. Every once in a while.
David Allwater, second rounders ain't shit.
They're not, man.
Missing ACL Blair, DeJuan Blair.
Okay, so NBA.com.
Oh, remember him.
I stumbled upon this, right? Talking about the best second round pick of the year for the last 10 years, right?
Yeah.
2014, Nikola Jokic. Won multiple MVPs, future Hall of Famer. Okay. Right? Said that Jeremy Grant and Jordan Clarkson were also second rounders that year. Montrezl Harrell was the number 32 pick, which is basically a glorified first rounder in 2015. Malcolm Brogdon, who won Rookie of the Year, was the 36th pick in the draft in 2016. Dylan Brooks, who's a big punk, number 45 pick in 2017. Jalen Brunson was a top of the second round, number 33 back in 2018. 2019, Dale Gafford was a 38th pick. Xavier Tillman in 2020. Herb Jones in 21. Andrew Nebhard in 2022. Gigi Jackson, who I wanted the Spurs to get in that draft, was drafted number 45 back in 2023. So there are some decent names from time to time.
We do got another $5 incoming super chat from the Jew Show. Thank you so much to everybody who's been donating those super chats today. We appreciate y'all.
So read this one, Joe.
He says, damn, Mr. Jimenez is extra today. Did you catch the Jimenez slander going in yesterday's X Spaces? Everybody has their daggers out for Jimenez, not I.
I appreciate that, Drew. Thank you so much for being a supporter of the show.
Yesterday we had an X Spaces with Matt Lerma, and it was Matt, Elias, and myself. And we're talking with some of the other fans here, talking Cowboys, Spurs, just a little bit about everything. And we're talking, and they were talking. I don't know who brought it up, but they were laughing at you because some of the takes you say are a bit much. And I said, there's times where I want to reach across the table sometimes and slap Mike in his face.
Hey, Joe, people think that I'm weird for having takes against Pop. Remember we were talking about Jerry Jones and asking the question, if Jerry Jones had hired somebody who had the results that he did, would he have been kept on?
No, man.
Jerry would have gotten rid of himself, right?
Yeah, he would have fired himself in a heartbeat, man.
Okay. So what does it say when the Spurs' last 5 seasons are 32 wins, 33 wins, 34 wins, 22, and 22? How many years in a row is that going to be allowed? Because if the Spurs win 34 games this year, it's no more than they won back in 2021, 2022. So Spurs fans are going to be like, you see, Michael, it's working. Pop is working. We got back from 22 wins to 34. I'm like, we're back to where we were 5 years ago. Change needs to happen, dude. It needs to happen on that bench.
And look at Matt Lerman's bringing up a point. This is what I'm saying. He goes, Mike is seriously underestimating the value of second-round draft picks and trades. How many trades include second-round picks? A ton.
It's the sweetener. It ain't the value of the pick.
You have to go ahead and have, if you're going to do a trade, the thing is the numbers have to work. Salary's got to match up, right?
Right.
You have to give something of comparable value.
You got to throw it in there to kind of, but you see, here's the thing. The Spurs have, 4 or 5 a year for the next 4 or 5 years?
And you see, that's the bad thing that Spurs fan doesn't think about. You have all these picks. If the Spurs go ahead and, use these picks, you only have so many roster spots to go around. What are you going to do?
Especially when you have first rounders on top of them.
I know, exactly. So it's like, if you're going to pick these first rounders, right? These picks convey, and you already have a stacked team. The Spurs fans don't think ahead of time. Spurs will actually be picking first rounders for other teams.
Now, I respect the Spurs going after getting first rounders. Like I said, from Charlotte, from Chicago, Atlanta got some swaps along the way. Even the one for the number 8 pick in the draft this year, where the Spurs traded away to Minnesota for like a 2030 first rounder and a swap around 31, or vice versa. I respect that. Okay, Spurs collecting first rounders, all about. Second rounders do nothing for me. They do absolutely nothing for me. Turning analysis telling me not to chase waterfalls and stick to the rivers and lakes that I'm used to. Reference to the other guys and TLC. But I'm excited about the Spurs season. But it's one of those things, Joe, where we get excited because we want to see Wemby out there. We want to see if any of these players take a leap. No Devin Vassell. Vassell's going to miss at least the first week of the season, if not longer, because of a foot injury. Spurs start off with battles against in-state rivals, back-to-back-to-back games against teams like Dallas and Houston. So we're gonna see how the season gets going, Joe. I'm worried that the Spurs fall to 2-6 to start the season. I think they'll be more competitive, but the Spurs need to play their talent out there. Or are we low-key tanking again, Joe? Is that what we're doing one more time? 2025 draft, supposedly very, very stacked, considered to be one of the best drafts of the past 10, 15 years. Is that what we're doing? I don't think Spurs fans can stomach that because then the apathy kicks in. We'd be halfway done with Wemby's first contract, and we're going to have what? Are the Spurs punting, Joe?
The Spurs aren't punting. They're trying to win, but the problem is, again, the team still needs some pieces to surround Wemby. Right now, they have players. They don't have ballers. They need people out there that can shoot the damn ball. They need bucket getters. They don't got that right now. You know, Stephon Castle, he could be a bucket getter. You got one. Who else you got? You know, you got Wemby, but he needs some help.
But the correlation goes back to Jerry Jones. The correlation goes back to, like, what are you doing? We see the deficiency. The Cowboys, we knew, had no defensive line and had no running game.
Yeah.
We knew that from the get-go. You look at the Spurs, you know what they don't have. They have no three-point shooting, and they have no reliable point guard play. We know what's going to be the Achilles heel of this team. Why wasn't that addressed? That's the thing. You either make a move, because you can't build solely through the draft. It's like the Cowboys want to build solely through the draft and avoid free agency and avoid good trades. And it's like the Spurs are afraid of doing that too. The Spurs do a lot of trades. Dude, Brian Wright does a crap ton of trades. But does he do any trades of significance? He racks up draft picks. That's what he does. But are we going to build this team solely through the draft? Because if that's going to be the case, that's going to take forever, and that's going to take picking the right player. Have the Spurs been picking the right players?
I like Hanover Fist comment. Bro, MJ can't stop talking Cowboys. That's because he's a fan. You can't keep the Cowboys out your mouth. You're a fan.
We are in Texas. And
the haters are always talking Cowboys.
Tim Spence, back in the day when we used to do the show together at San Antonio Sports Star, he used to always say, you play the hits. Play the hits.
Play the hits.
You know, so I talked to Tim the other day. He's doing well, man. It's funny. People think that he and I have like animosity towards each other. Actually, we're pretty good friends.
Look at Charlie Hernandez. He's saying, Rob Dillingham looking good so far. Wish we kept.
Hey, but we're going to get 50 games instead of CP3, baby. We're going to get 50 games of CP3.
Charlie Hernandez looked ass last game through 1-9.
Well, we're going to talk about somebody who looked ass already in preseason.
They were asking. We had somebody in the chat asking, have we gotten into the entertainment news yet?
Not yet, but we're going to talk about one ass-looking player after we give some love to MCS General Contracting with that Diamond Heart Concrete.
Yep. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business. Honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show. There you have it. You want things done right the first time? Make sure you go ahead and give our boys over at MCS General Contracting a call, as this chat is powered by MCS General Contracting. Make sure you go ahead and call Chris Leha, give you a free consultation. You can go ahead and put out a landing inside of the house there. Go ahead and lay down a parking lot if you're a business. Give them a call. Number is 210-774-9155. Make sure you call MCS General Contracting.
Thank you, MCS, for being there from day one, baby. Bronny James's career might have ended before it started, Joe.
Bronny James has not had a good preseason. A lot of former NBA players are saying that if it was anybody else, he would have already been cut. The Lakers do not have plans on cutting Bronny, because it's been said that on opening day for the Lakers, they want to go ahead and have Bronny and LeBron out there on the court at the same time.
That is crazy. He has the second worst start of anybody in NBA preseason history. The dude shooting 9% from the field and averaging less than a point per game in preseason action. He has made 1 bucket in 11 attempts. He has missed all 4 3-point attempts. He only has 3 rebounds and 1 assist in 35 minutes of play cumulatively. So in 35 minutes of playing time, Joe, he has 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Does have 3 blocks, but 5 turnovers. Lots of fouls, too. Bronny James, what a joke, man. What a joke. So, Joe, people want to talk about the pop culture. We mentioned on Friday's show that Pulp Fiction turned 30 years old this week.
They did, man.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Tell me about the Comic-Con. What was going on over there?
So Comic-Con had a lot of great stuff, man. I went out there and I was all over the vendor floor, first floor. You go in there, you get to buy their wares, things, people got for sale. I got me this wallet here. I don't know if you can see it. It's like laser etched. It has Darth Vader on it. I bought one for me. I took my boy with me, my son. The youngest one, he went and he was buying some stuff there. And also I took one of my best friends with me, Jonas Clark. He went out there, and I actually got him a wallet too, because I saw his wallet and I said, you can't call out another man's wallet for being all tattered and nasty unless you're going to buy him a new one. So he bought something. I was like, bro, that wallet looks bad. I was thinking to myself, I didn't tell him. But then when I went and got me one, I was like, I'm going to get one for my boy too, because I'm like, there you go. He's like, oh man, thanks a lot. And I'm like, you need to change that wallet out too. It needs to be retired, brother. I'm gonna get you another one.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, but they had a lot of stuff out there. They had a whole bunch of artwork, holograms, a lot of things that you could buy out there. I mean, you spend money quick. I spent a lot of money out there fairly quickly, because I wasn't just buying stuff for me. I was buying stuff for the kids and everything, So then after that, we got something to eat. Then we went upstairs to the 2nd floor, because that's where they have all the panels. I told Jeff, I was keeping in contact with him the whole time I was there, letting him know I was there. And I told him, I'm going to be joining you here shortly, making my way up there. So I said, I'll be there right before they start the Star Wars panel.
Mm-hmm.
So we got it there at the tail end of the Harry Potter panel that they had there. Jeff was on stage moderating, and I let him know I was there. And he's kind of trying to look for me in the crowd. And it's like, I'm here, dude. I just don't want you to be focused. You got stuff to do. So I met with him after that, said hi to him real quick, kind of moved up, got ready for the Star Wars panel. I stayed for the Star Wars panel. We stayed after that, they had the Lord of the Rings panel. There was 4 panels that we went through. We also went through the Sands of Anarchy panel as well.
Really? How was that one?
That one was good too. That we got to hear him talk and everything and kind of interact with the crowd. Jeff gave me the mic so I could ask a question.
He did.
I knew he was going to come up to me. I was sitting there and I was like, I know this son of a bitch is going to come up here and give me the mic and tell, so I can ask a question to the actors that were on stage. And here comes Jeff. And I was like, oh no, I know he's going to come this way. Sure enough, and I got to meet some of my other friends there.
It was that guy from San Antonio, right?
Yeah. That's from the Mayans.
That's from Mayans MC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's there. Prado. He's the actor. Prado. He's here. He actually grew up over by the Las Palmas area.
He did. Yeah. He mentioned about that.
Yeah. So he grew up there. It was good. Cool seeing the panels and everybody there, and it was all nice. It had a great time. And then as I was leaving, got to see some old friends and whatnot, but reconnected with some people that I hadn't seen in a while. I saw one of my best friends from high school. Her name's Sally De La Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep in contact with her. We're good friends on Facebook. We go out every now and then to catch up, and she was a volunteer. So as soon as I go in there, I just see her. I'm like, whoa, I didn't know she was volunteering. So that was cool seeing her there as well. Good friend of the family she is. I mean, she's been there with since the kids. All my kids have been born, and she's been there, since even before then, even before I met my wife,
Wow.
So it's like she's one of my oldest friends, dude.
It's amazing when you go to those types of events and like you don't know who you're going to run into. Any event in San Antonio. San Antonio is a large, small town. You go to a Fiesta event, you're going to run into 15 people that you know. You go to a Spurs game, UTSA football game, it's just so weird. A crowd of 25,000 people, you're going to run into people that you know. I'm glad you had a great time out there. I really want to go to one of the Comic-Cons because I've never been.
Yeah.
And I think that was the one I should have gone to because that's like not just comic stuff, but it's also entertainment type of thing.
That's usually how all the Comic Cons are now. They have the vendor floor, where you can go and buy stuff, look around, take pictures and whatnot. They have one coming up called Space Con. So I threw our name in the hat. I asked for 4 credentials.
Yeah.
If they convey, they're pretty much already taken, so, well, I'm pretty sure we're going to have one for you, for me, and two other people. But yeah, I threw my name in the hat. We'll see what happens, man. And hopefully I get, if not, I can always get in there with my other boys because they all got media passes ahead of time. And one of my guys from Countdown City Geekcast, which I'm a part of as well, they already got media passes.
They got us into Twisters, right? Were the ones who got us into the premiere?
Yeah, exactly. So my boy that you met, Ted Kalunga, he's the one that's actually going to be moderating all the celebrity panels up there on stage.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, I can always go with them. They've already invited me.
Very cool. Hey, I like this headline that I see here on Entertainment News.
Yeah, I was going to tell Tim Gonzalez real quick. Joe, did you run into Derek Gervin? I did not see Derek Gervin, Rudy. I didn't see any of them, man. I think they might have been somewhere on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't run into them at the con.
So rapper Fat Joe isn't so fat anymore. He was in San Antonio for the Tacos and Tequila performance a couple weeks ago. But we have an article that I have on my screen here on TMZ Hip Hop News. Fat Joe, the famous rapper from back in the day, says that he used Ozempic to lose 200 pounds. That at one point he weighed 470. Woo. And now he's back into the 200s and looking good. Looks good, man. It's all about the weight loss. And they asked him, how did you do it? He goes, beyond the Ozempic. He goes, I had to cut out a lot of carbs. Okay, that's the carbs of the devil. And the second thing he said was that he only had 2 pieces of what he liked. Okay. He basically says portion control, right? Moderation. That's the thing about it all. But congratulations to Fat Joe. Joe, I was thinking about I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday about like testosterone therapy. Do you know anybody who does that?
Yeah, man. I know quite a bit of people who do that.
I'm thinking about it.
My brother-in-law does it. And it's funny though, because my brother-in-law, and over the summer, he lived with us for like a couple weeks because he was going from a home because he's getting a divorce. Poor guy. Pour some out for him.
Yeah.
He was going from living in a house to, getting the divorce. And then he was getting a new place and it wasn't quite ready yet. Right.
Yeah.
So he stayed with us for a couple weeks and he was on testosterone injections. And my wife's a nurse. Right. So he would go over to his sister and he'd be like, you got to get me this shot here on my arm, And it was just funny because he had this bag that he brought, right, with all the needles and
is that what it is?
It's needles.
Shots?
Yeah, they give you the shots in the bag, right? You got to throw them away and whatnot after you use them, and then they give you the vials of the testosterone. You have to inject.
Is that
so many.
safe?
It is. I mean, they give it to you. You gotta. They teach you and everything how to inject it, but you have to do this like I think every other day or every day.
Because I had a friend of mine who said that he was doing his monthly.
I don't know, man. It's
and I know that they have the Low T Center over here on
they have
on
several.
Petranco, and
I've seen it. I'll pass
one.
by it all the time.
I know. It's funny because I was talking to a friend of mine about it, right? And because I was telling him I've been getting tired, man. Towards the end of the day, I like doing my 3 o'clock naps, but I'm just getting tired, man, and I just want to have a little bit more energy, dude. I'm like amped up most of the day.
Yeah.
But right around 3:00, man, I shut down for like half an hour and then I'm back up.
You know what it is too? You need to like eat something, but not like a full-on meal, but like little snacks throughout the day, and you
Mhm.
got to pace them out. Like get something that has like high energy or protein or something with it. You know,
Right.
you could eat peanuts or something like that, but it's just, again, it's portion control. You don't want to put a big old bowl of stuff in there because that's not going to help you.
Because like caffeine's not doing it for me, dude.
No,
like
you gotta drink water.
caffeine used to wake me up. Nothing.
You got to drink water. You gotta eat a little bit better.
I don't drink as much as I used to. I've been eating a little bit better. I'm down 23 pounds. It took me a year and a half to get down 23 pounds. I'm not losing at the pace of Matt Laramie, who's all over the place, losing a lot. Mike gonna ditch it.
Ooh, look at that commercial, bro. That shit is funny. You need to call Frank Thomas and Doug Flutie for some eugenics.
Your Nugget will like it too.
That's what he always says.
You know
see
what?
that commercial?
Yeah, I'm happy to report that at 47, the pecker still works.
No, but that's funny. Have you seen that commercial with eugenics?
Yeah,
because he always looks at the girl and he's like, she'll like it too,
That is a big fear of mine, man. It is a big fear of mine. We all don't bat 1,000 in that area, but as long as you bat 950, 900, all good.
What'd you say if you're not waking up with that morning wood? Something wrong with you?
Well, it's funny because I asked the doctor about that when it came to testosterone, and he goes, "Do you wake up hard?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "You're fine then." All right, take your word for it.
They're telling you to drink electric. You know what? One thing for real that my friends do as well, they take vitamins.
Yeah.
And the vitamins actually help because they had the same problem you did, like you're reporting. Feel a little sluggish, just don't feel quite myself. As you get older, man, you need to take some vitamins. Take some vitamins every morning when you're going to eat your breakfast, and I bet you'll feel better.
Gotta get that vitamin D.
Oh, bro. I don't know about all that.
Did you see our girl Dua Lipa this weekend?
No, I didn't see her this weekend.
I'm going to look it up. Let me see if I can find the video. Our girl Dua Lipa, who was our Batty Bracket Final Four contestant, was performing back-to-back weekends over in Austin. And let me see here. Let me see if I find it.
Hey, man, they're saying to go get you some Blue Chew, bro. That
Hey, man.
stuff that Shay Shay is using to sponsor his show that he does at night with Ocho Cinco.
Yeah. Hey, to each their own, man. It's all good.
We need to maybe we can get Blue Chew as a sponsor for the show.
You know what? I was actually thinking about that because I was reading an article about how there's certain companies out there that if you have 1,000 subscribers, will toss a few bucks at you. Blue Chew's one of them.
We could pair it in real quick with MCS General Contracting. You get that diamond hard concrete and some Blue Chew in your life.
Here's our girl.
Let's go ahead and show her on screen. Oh yeah, I saw this.
Dua Lipa, after UT beat the living crap out of the
Sooners.
The Sooners, and they beat the living snot out of them. But she goes out there and is displaying the UT orange, the burnt orange. Lipa #1. Absolute nugget, dude. Absolute nugget. She's a baddie. This was her performances in Austin over the weekend. Back-to-back weekends as headliner for ACL.
Yeah.
Joe, got a question to ask you?
Go ahead.
It's a very serious question to ask. Did summer officially end today here in San Antonio?
I think it did, man. I think summer's already ended maybe about a week or two ago, man.
Well, technically, the season's over, right?
Yeah.
But did you know a cool front's coming in tonight?
I did, man. It's gonna drop down.
This might
supposedly.
be the last time that we're in the 90s.
That's not a bad thing, man. I'm tired of this hot weather already.
Today's high 96 degrees. Tomorrow's high 80.
And then it's gonna be in the 50s, I think, in the weekend.
Yeah, we're looking at high temperatures in the low 80s. Potential of a 90-degree hit next week, but it'd be at 90. Nothing crazier than that. Dude, I dig it, man. I dig it.
Yeah, one of the things that I did too is yesterday, I didn't want to, but I had no choice. I had to finally take down the old pool, dude. It already had a good run, dude. I've been up for like almost 6-7 years already. Had to take her down, dude. And I saw that cold front coming. I was like, it's time, man. It's already at the end of life. We have the bulky item pickup coming over here.
Yeah.
It's like it's time to go ahead and get it done now before it rains, and it gets all full of
soggy,
water and
yeah.
stuff. So it's like I got to cut the vinyl up and all that, and it's like put it together.
Are you gonna redo it?
No, I'm gonna throw it away. It's already at the end of life.
No. Are you gonna get another one?
I don't know. I was thinking about what I'm gonna do. I think I want to go ahead and make the outside a lot better now.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and probably put a slab. I'm gonna get with my boy Christopher Leja, put a slab out there, and then build a pergola on top of that. Have a little outdoor area where I can entertain.
From MCS General Contracting.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Baseball playoffs. Back at it today. Guardians against the Yankees. 6:38 on TBS. Yankees lead the series 1-0. American League Championship Series. Everyone's all about Aaron Judge and all those guys. Dodgers and Mets. Dude, we might have a Subway Series. Would you like to see that, Joe? Would you like to see New York against New York?
Yeah, why not? I don't like the Mets, but I mean, I'd like to see New York, the Yankees, go and just decimate them.
The college football rankings are also been released as well. Texas Longhorns. How do the Longhorns not have all 62 first place votes in the AP Top 25? Explain how Oregon has 6. Explain that to me.
I don't know.
Who are the 6 holdouts when it comes to that? In the coaches poll, Texas has 53 of 55 first place votes. 2 people have Oregon at number 1 rather.
Why?
I don't know. Let's look at their schedule. Let's see what we know who Texas is beating, right? Texas went to Ann Arbor and beat Michigan.
Georgia.
Texas beat Georgia. Oh, actually, no, they got Georgia next.
Yeah,
they beat OU, and they did it with a backup quarterback half the time, which Arch Manning. Oregon beat Idaho, Boise State, Oregon State, UCLA, Michigan, and they beat Ohio State, the number 2 team in the land. Okay, they have a big victory there. Top 10, Texas at 1, Oregon at 2, Penn State at 3, Ohio State dropped to number 4, Georgia is at number 5, Miami at 6, Bama at 7, LSU, the Tigers, getting that big victory there in overtime, jump up to number 8, Iowa State at 9, Clemson at number 10, let's keep going down, Notre Dame at 11, BYU at 12, Tennessee at 11, Notre Dame at 12, BYU at 13, Texas A&M at 14, and look at the ponies there. SMU, number 21. Dude, we might see SMU in the playoffs, Joe.
They're gonna F around and find out.
The ponies go, man.
What
ponies.
About no TCU? Remember Taylor's team right there is TCU.
Very, very cool. Joe, it's been a fun show.
Yeah.
Spurs in action against was it the Miami Heat today?
Yeah, they got the Heat today. Thing is, you keep your eye on this game because the Heat just winded up getting Hero back and their rookie from last year, Jaime. He's going to be back as well. They've been back already. They played on Sunday. The Heat have made a concerted effort to pick up their pace because last year they were almost dead last when it came to pace. Yeah. Spurs were third. So this is going to be a game that's going to be both teams want to get up and down the court. So it should be a good one, man. A lot of action. Not going to be a lot of half court sets. You should see some spectacular plays come out of this. But since the Heat are kind of transitioning into trying to play with the faster pace, and the Spurs have already been playing like that, the Vegas odd makers gave the Spurs a 65% chance of winning this game against the Heat. Matchups to watch for are going to be, what are they going to do with Castle? Is Castle going to match up well against, some of the players for the Heat there? And Wemby, I don't know if he's going to play or not. But again, go ahead and check it out. It should be, for everybody who wants to see the game, you should be able to watch it today on the Bally Sports app.
Well, like I always say, Joe, the Spurs go as Julian Champagne goes. By the way, Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 just posted that the newly enhanced NBA app will feature Past the Rock Rookie Year Edition episode featuring Spurs Victor Wembanyama and his transition to the NBA, culminating in him being named the NBA Rookie of the Year. That's according to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. We didn't get into that fan the Ravens fan who was going out there beating people up in the stands.
My God.
Did you see that?
I even saw a Cowboy fan there. They had video of the girl throwing
up.
And they're doing the little dance around her and stuff at the game. Just like, God. And of course, Jerry's rant already made it on First Take, man. About an hour ago, they went ahead and put the clip up. Everybody talking about Jerry and what he was saying during that interview.
Look at this guy who's manly. Look at this manly guy.
Do we got a straggler? Do we got a straggler?
Yeah, let me go up to somebody who's a foot shorter. What a thug, man. Punk ass. Yeah, he also didn't fight anybody that was his size. Be a man, fight somebody your own size.
Why are they fighting, though? What are they doing?
Because they're drunk after games.
Are they doing talking nonsense or what?
No, he was out there looking. He was trying to hit people who were wearing Commanders jerseys. Again, this was a road game in Baltimore. Hope that guy gets locked up and the key thrown away, Joe.
Yeah, man, that's stupid. That's classless. If nobody's doing anything to you, just walking and they're in an opposing team's jersey, and you just starting shit to start shit, deserve to be thrown in jail, man.
Yep. Then that girl at the Cowboy game who threw up. Do we want to show that?
No, man, we're good. that's gross, dude. That's gross, man.
Keep it classy, Cowboy fans. Again, Jerry Jones lost his damn mind today. He threatened the careers of the radio host there for not doing his bidding, and how dare they question him. But you know what? Jerry Jones has no one to answer to because that narcissist is his own boss.
Yeah, that's all on Jerry, man. Jerry is probably going to, have to go ahead and say, I'm sorry. I overreacted. Because you know what? His PR people are probably on his ass right now.
The apathy there that they have, man. The Cowboy fans are going to have. There might be. So Jesse Martinez comes out to us and says that the dude got arrested. Let's hear about that.
Dude got arrested and fired is what he's saying.
Yeah. I hope so. I don't see that anywhere. We'll find out. We'll get more details on that, but I hope that happens.
Look at this. Remember the Spurs fan that shot a Heat fan on the highway? Damn. That's nuts, dude.
But did he deserve it? That's the question.
Oh, Lord. Nobody deserves that, dude.
Everyone have a fantastic day here in San Antonio. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your people. We'll be back tomorrow.